Hey, Dave, great to be on the show. I appreciate you taking my call. It's an honor. You're doing a great service.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
I have a daughter who is 15 and a half years old. She's going to be starting driver's ed here in the next couple weeks.
Yeehaw.
I'm in the market for a car for her. It's exciting and nerve-wracking, of course.
Yeah.
I'm in the market for a car for her, and the car that I'm looking at is fairly expensive. It's about a $14,000 car. I can afford it, so that's not an issue. I can pay cash, and that's not going to be a problem. But I've never done this before, and $14,000 just seems like a lot of money for a car for a teenage girl. And am I being crazy here? Do I need to be shopping for a $5,000 car instead, just to kind of start her off on the right foot as far as showing her how to value shop for a car? I mean, the idea here is I want to buy a car that's going to last forever. I want all-wheel drive because I'm in Michigan. And I want a good, reliable car. But I don't know. That just seems like a lot of money, and I thought nobody knows better than Dave, so let me give him a call.
But you're right about that, Mark. I'm not in those shoes yet. My kids are little.
What'd you pay for your first one when you were a teenage girl?
I think it was like $15,000.
$1,000?
I think my mom.
Oh, wow.
That's what Mom got for me.
Was that on payments?
No.
They paid cash for it.
She paid cash for it.
She went big.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
It's funny, though, because it's like, it's when you think about you do want something safe, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be, I don't think, $5,000 or $15,000. Like, I think you could find a middle range if that felt like too much money to you for whatever reason. You know, one of the things that you talk about, Dave, is how you did it with your kids. And Rachel and I are very good friends, so she's talked about it from the daughter's perspective of having a skin in the game when she helped pay for her car. But she treated her car differently because she had to pay for part of it. And I think there's something to that, regardless of the amount of money, where you take care of it, you value it. It doesn't just feel like, you can just, be careless with it. So I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, Mark, what we did was they paid whatever they saved up, we would match it. We had 401 Dave.
I'm going to do that with my kids, Mark. I'm serious.
So,
I love this plan.
In Rachel's case, she saved up $6,000 and she got a $12,000 little 323 Beamer, which was a pretty sweet little car, actually. Not a bad first car at all. And but she had saved up half of that, and I matched it. You're late in the game to start that process because you're on the cusp of buying the thing. Does your daughter have any money to put some skin in the game? To Christy's point.
She does. Frankly, I don't have her work too much. In my house, we really prioritize education and doing well in school. Working at this point, not quite as much. I mean, that's going to come, and they do work. They do work some. But even when they do, there's not a whole lot of money necessarily involved. I mean, if I can have them doing, volunteering and working here at home, I'm okay with that because money is not as much a concern, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I guess the short answer is no. They don't have much in the way of savings.
Okay. Well, you need to do something emotionally so that when her friend drops a McDonald's large Coca-Cola in the passenger seat, that she cringes.
You could have her even just pay for insurance, Mark, where if she speeds, gets a speeding ticket, that insurance goes up, she's paying for the insurance. She could work a day or two a month and make enough money to cover insurance,
There's something very valuable about having some skin in the game. Overall, obviously, just in talking to you, you're making a lot of money. You got a lot of money. This is not an issue. It's not out of control. I do tell people that it's whatever kid car you get as your first one, you're going to screw it up. I mean, you're going to destroy it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a forever car. I think he said that.
Yeah,
Get that out of your head.
That's a joke. That's not even good. They didn't make it halfway through college with their first cars. Yeah. But four-wheel drive in your area, I don't have a problem with that. Something reliable, I don't have a problem with that. Something safe, I don't have a problem with that. You can get all of those things for a lot of different price ranges. But you've got the money; it's not a problem. But I'm more concerned with with her posture towards the car. Than I am the actual expense of it. And, I mean, we live in a neighborhood where people buy 16-year-olds, $35,000 BMWs because they're brain damaged. Now, that's stupid, okay? And I would just call you on that. But what you're describing is not out of line. It's not out of line with what we did, and it was a few years ago that we did it. And I'm going to send you a copy of Rachel and I's #1 best-selling book, Smart Money, Smart Kids, which is how we taught. Rachel and I wrote it together. It was a #1 bestseller. Her from the daughter perspective, me from the dad perspective. It's how we taught our kids how to handle money, and it discusses this car thing a lot in there. So, like I said, it was a #1, and I'll send it to you. I think you'll enjoy it. You may pick up a couple of points. Nothing you're doing there is wrong. We teach in that book that regardless of whether they have to or not, our job as parents is to train children, as our friend Andy Andrews says, not to be good kids, but to be great adults. In order to do that with money, they need to have 4 skills. They need to know how to work. And so I don't think your daughter's working enough. I would have her doing more work just because I want to teach her to work. And you worked.
Yep.
Rachel worked.
Yep.
And neither one of you had to, from a standpoint your parents weren't broke or something like that. Work, give, save, and spend wisely. Spend wisely, give wisely, save wisely, and work wisely, and learn to do all those things. And you're not doing those things because they create a lot of money, but because I want you to build those muscles.
It's the habits. It's the I have to be on time, and if not, I have a boss to report to. You know, Dave, before I worked here, I worked for the YMCA. I had a staff of teenagers. I would have sometimes the mom call me and tell me, Johnny's sick. I'm like, Johnny needs to call. This is Johnny's job. You learn these
helicopter mom.
These skills for life. It's not about the paycheck. It's about the skills for life.
Johnny's gonna be late. Was Johnny's little cell phone not working?
I was like, Johnny's gonna call me.
Oh, yeah. Bust little Johnny. That'd be But that's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's really good stuff. That's a funny story.
So I'm in a very awful student loan mess. I racked up $385,000 in student loans.
Goodness! For what? Are you a doctor or a lawyer?
I am a doctor, clinical psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah. After 7 years of graduate school, that's how much debt I'm in. And if I knew then what I know now, I, of course, would have gone after things a little bit differently. But my question is, so I just got a job in a nonprofit, working at a school that actually provides room and board. And I want to know how to tackle this debt with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Any ideas about that?
Well, it sucks. That's my idea. You're saying I've already spent 7 years of my life on this education. Now I'm going to spend another 10 years of my life with no life.
Right.
With this debt hanging over you for 10 years. What is your income?
So the income starts off at $52,000 and it goes up every year.
Can you not make a lot more than that? I mean, can't you
I
make
have a part-time job as well.
No, I mean, can you not get as a clinical psychologist? Can you not make 6 figures?
I could in private practice.
So do it. You're $385,000 in debt. You don't have the option of taking a cheaped-out job. You need to create some income.
The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program is a good idea.
No, it sucks. It means 10 years, and it's fallen apart. The Department of Education is saying that Navient and Sally Mae don't have the right to determine whether or not you are qualified after they determined it, and they're bailing on some of these people. It's scary. No way I want you to do that. I want you out of debt fast, as fast as you can possibly get out of debt, so you get your life back. I mean, this is oppressive, is it not?
It is, definitely.
Yeah, and for that to just be hanging over your head for the next decade, that's the Student Loan Forgiveness Program. It's a decade. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You want to wait till 39 to start your life?
No, definitely not.
No, I don't either. And the income that you give up working something that qualifies for that versus what you could make in private practice during that decade would have paid this off 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hate to say it, but I want you to I don't want you to be altruistic. I want you to get all mercenary to the point that you almost feel greedy because you need to go make some money for your sake, kiddo. I want you to get out of this mess and you need a bigger shovel. this is not. I mean, you may or may not follow my advice. I get it. I understand. You're emotionally committed to this path, but I think you're giving yourself a prescription of a decade of oppression that might not even turn out. I mean, do a little reading on this, on what's happening with the education department and how they're disallowing some of these things, and it's going into court, and there's been class action suits again. It's a mess. And to depend on the government for your program to get you free instead of depending on your ability to earn an income it's a bad idea, I think. So, I mean, you can do what you want to do, kiddo, but you asked me my opinion. If I were in your shoes, I would go make as much money as I could make as fast as I can make it legally and morally and get this mess cleaned up, and I would do it very, very intensely and very focused and very quickly. And, you know, I'm talking about 3-4 years you clean this up, but you don't have a life during that time, but then you get the rest of your life with a life. But you're going to have to, you know, really pick up, you know, ER on the weekends and everything else you can do, you know, being on call, anything you can do to add to a standard private practice and so forth. But you don't have the luxury of working for nothing if you want, unless you just want to try to do this. But no, not a chance. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
How you doing, guys? You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
You too.
What's going on?
Just want to say thank you. Yes, I've taken your course probably a couple years ago, me and my wife, and we got like $90,000 paid off in 2 years.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, basically, we fell off the wagon. I got a settlement from an accident. We'd made some stupid decisions. Now we're back in the debt about $55,000.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. We bought timeshare.
Wait a minute.
We've done all kinds of stupid stuff.
Well, was it we?
Yeah, it was we.
Why?
I'll take some credit for it too.
How do you tell us what happens where you pay off $90,000 and all that hard
With
work
the settlement,
and then you decide to just start borrowing again? What's going on?
I don't know. We just got away from it. I guess maybe having that kind of money just got to us a little bit. Maybe
more money, more problems.
I'm not sure.
How much was the settlement?
Basically, it was $43,000.
Wow. Okay.
And basically now my wife just recently, we need to get back on the budget. I was like, you know what? If you want to go full force and do this, then yes.
Yes.
I'm all in.
Okay.
And basically, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. I'm like, if you're going to do this full force, let's do it. I just want to make sure that we figure out what it was that caused you to pay $90,000 off and get a windfall of over $40,000 and somehow end up in $55,000 of debt. Like that, there is something I wish Dr. John Deloney was here to help us uncover, but I want to make sure that I want you to go ham and pay off this debt again. But more than that, I want to make sure we get to the bottom of how the heck this happened, right?
Oh, I totally agree, but I suggested to my wife that we sell her car. Carvana will give her $25,000.
Okay.
And put my truck in it because it's $672 a month on the payment.
Okay.
So
I'm with it.
I want to try to eliminate that, but it's basically and get rid of the timeshare, obviously. But it's hard to convince her to be on board with all that.
Why?
She's down with, I don't know.
And that I don't know is the most important thing in this entire equation, because we got to know, because you can try to do this alone, but it's not the right way to do it, and it won't last because she's going to keep putting you guys in debt. So, and
that's what basically my question is. What is your all suggestion? Am I wrong for asking this?
No, I think that
I don't know what to do.
You've had a moment. You've hit on your own accord. You've hit that I've had it moment of, wait a minute, like we're going in the wrong direction. Look at our life, and you on your own have had that self-realization moment. She hasn't had it yet. So
I don't know that. I mean, basically, she says, it's time. It's time for us to be on. To be on the budget. But I don't think she wants to be full force. I think she wants to just.
Why do you say that?
Here and there, because she don't want to get rid of the timeshare. She don't want to. She don't want to, I guess, maybe drive a lesser of a vehicle.
She
So
wants
she
to be
doesn't-
on a budget so that she
Well,
can
she
manage
wanna-
the debt.
She just wants to manage
Yeah.
the money going forward, but she doesn't want to have to give up anything in order to do it.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
Maybe
So-
that's what it is. I don't
yeah.
know.
She's being. Listen,
No, I don't buy it, Greg. You do know.
You
know what's
she's
going
being
on.
a princess.
100%. She doesn't want to be responsible. She wants all the benefits
And you
without
guys
the
got
hard
a
work.
little bit of money and you were able to floss it a little bit and show it off. And she doesn't want anybody to see you guys go in the other direction. I got to call a spade on that. And that's what I think it is. I think that she's more concerned. This is just me based on what you said. It sounds like she's more concerned on how it will feel and how it will look than what you guys will gain from doing this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Bingo.
and I'm not trying to bash her.
And we're
'cause
not.
I'm
We're
at fault
not.
for a lot of stuff too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I've
Greg-
done some stupid stuff.
Greg, this
too.
is a marriage issue at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because where this
Yeah.
goes is this begins to divide you two. And I'm not saying that this is a 5-alarm fire, but this is a marriage conversation to say to her, here's how I feel. See, don't make it about her. Make it about you. Here's how I feel. Here's what this debt does to me. Here's what these payments do to me. Walk her through it. This is how I feel. Do you feel this way?
Yeah.
Like maybe ask some questions after you tell her how you feel and say, how do you feel about how I feel?
Yeah.
Because I think we got to get all the feelings out on the table so that we know what we're dealing with. And this may be I think it's at least a couple of sessions with a good marriage therapist to kind of walk you all through how you're seeing things differently. And you both share your emotions on this. And let's see where she's at on this, because maybe you haven't framed it the right way. I don't know.
Well, I'll frame. Let me do. I'm going to do Greg a favor because there's certain things that Greg can't say, or he'll be, R.I.P. Right? But I can say it because
I like this.
I'm here. There comes a point in time where we have to become adults and we have to act like adults. And the child inside of us kicks and screams and wants what they want. But let me tell you something. If I went to Sam Warshaw, my spouse, and I said, listen, we're wilding out right now. We paid off $90,000 and somehow we're in $55,000 of debt. It's time for us to act like adults and sell our stuff. If he said, well, I don't want to do this and I want to keep my car though, I would be like, boss up and sell your car. And that's what I'm telling your wife. It's time, Mrs., that you get on the same page. You got to sell your car, mama. Like, you got to give it up. And I know that your friends are going to see it. I know you're not going to be able to go to the Panhandle and have your weekend, vacations in your timeshare, but you got to boss up and you got to do this the right way. And your husband wants this and he loves you.
Yeah. I say because it's worn me out. I mean, I've had to pick up a second job and all that. You know what I mean? So I'm working from sun up to sun down. So it's kind of exhausting, and that's where I'm kind of
It
at. I'm at
is.
exhaustion.
Greg, she's got to know
Come on,
how
mama.
you feel too. Jade's right, but you got to say, because if she wants to be married to you, then this will be a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality.
Because you won't be able to go on like this forever.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
Poor
tough.
guy.
That's so tough.
Greg's working sun up to sundown.
Working day and night.
Greg's afraid to put his foot down.
And it's not that it's not like a man versus woman thing. It's we're adults.
Mm-hmm.
We're adults. Do adult things.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
You only repaid $7,500 because you're a person who lacks integrity. But we'll go from there.
That's crazy.
When he updated his will before he passed, he deducted the remaining $27,500 owed from my portion of the estate. I need the rest of my inheritance money. I live in a semi-expensive neighborhood and I am not in good health. What should I do? Number one, you picked the wrong two people to write into, brother.
You did. I'm sorry.
You need to move. You need to get over yourself, and you need to go to your local church and ask for forgiveness from both.
Entitlement?
My God Almighty. Good for your dad for deducting this amount of money that you didn't pay him back because you lacked character and integrity, not because of your expensive lifestyle, but because you chose to live expensively over your word that you gave your dad. and he deducted it from his estate. Good for him. That was part of the agreement. You didn't pay it back, so he did the next right thing. He shouldn't have loaned you the money in the first place, but he did. You live in a semi-expensive neighborhood. Move. You can't afford your neighborhood. Move. That is not your money. Don't refer to it as your money ever again. It's not yours. It goes to whoever else he designated it to. Why? Because it's his money, not yours. And I'm going to say something's going to get me in trouble, so I'm going to be quiet. What do you think, Jade?
I say go for it.
No, I'm just,
Okay.
I hate this entitlement. I hate this. That's mine. I hate this. I can't stand all of this. It's nonsense, 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 nonsense. As though my choice to drive a fancy car and live in a big house overrides math, and it overrides character, and it overrides integrity, and more importantly, it overrides my relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
You know what the most important thing is? That I got expensive lifestyle. Shut up. Shut up.
Debt never matters to people until it's debt that's owed to them.
And it's not debt. It's not debt.
That's the thing. But I'm saying, for him, it's easy to look at this for Kenneth, it's easy to look at this $35,000 that he borrowed and go, I don't need to pay that right away. It's no big deal. I'm only going to pay $7,500 of it. But if the tables were turned and someone owed him $35,000, he'd want the money today.
Well, let's be real clear about this. My dad deducted the remaining balance owed from my portion of the estate. This is not your estate.
Yeah.
This is your dad's estate. And it's his prerogative to dole it out however he wants to. He could give you a fish tank and a hammer and a high five, and that's what would be yours. You, because you're an entitled brat, looked at how much he owed. You probably tripled it. And then you spent that money in your mind. And then when it didn't come to you in the form of a check, you threw a little temper tantrum and you said, well, I want my money. It's not yours. It's not yours. He could leave all of his money to your brother or to your sister, which is what I hope he did, and look at you and say, you were not a son that honored your word. And so I'm going to choose to spend my inheritance. I'm going to choose to divvy up my estate in a different way. He's allowed to do that because it's his money, not yours. Never was yours, never will be yours. So stop referring to it as your portion of the estate, as your inheritance money. It's not. Case closed. If you can't afford to live in your semi-expensive neighborhood and you're not in good health, then you need to move. You need to get on the exchange and try to get some health insurance. You need to figure out something else to do. But sitting around complaining about money that's not yours and that never will be yours, and legally or otherwise, is a waste of your time and energy. And I'll be quiet.
Standing ovation. Good job. That's my second Rihanna reference in a very short period of time.
Sometimes
that
you
was
need
good, John. A
couple of Rihanna references just to balance the world back out.
That was good. Okay. You're right. It was very intense.
If you've been around me, I don't get mad.
Pop off, John.
I don't get mad about hardly anything. I never do. In fact,
You don't.
I get too much criticism for not getting fired up about stuff enough.
I can see this bothers you. I like it.
I can't, because this is our country. The government owes me. My professor owes me an A. No, he didn't. You didn't do A work. You didn't do A work. I pay this whole attitude.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Be quiet.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my son. He's 14. He's going to be leaving middle school and heading to high school. And so we're starting to have more poignant. We've been having breakfast together once a week for years. And we're starting to move into more of a poignant, hey, here's kind of my thoughts on alcohol as you get into high school. Here's my thoughts on sex. We talk about sex all the time in my house, as you can imagine. But here's some more specific things. Like, I'm going to start being more specific about, I believe in God. Jesus is important to me. My faith's important to me. Here's what that looks like, and here's my seasons of doubt, and here's my seasons when I walk to.
Real talk.
It's more intentional.
Yeah, real talk.
And we were talking about his grades recently, and he said, but I've been working so hard. And I said, I know. But you are entering into a season of life that for the rest of your life, effort doesn't matter as much as the outcome. And we have to see it in front of us. And this attitude of, you just give me mine because I can choose, I can do what I want, and the effort, it's not real. And this kind of nonsense is breaking up families. It's breaking up culture. It's breaking up communities. And it's insane. It's insane. Can Kenneth be upset that his brother and sister got more money than him? Sure. Be mad. That's fine. But move on with your life.
Yeah, move on.
Move on with your life.
Be mad.
You don't get to just live in an expensive area and be like, that's what I wanted. No, dude. No.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Be mad and move on, and don't let it steal your joy or steal your peace, because what he's listed here, it's nobody else's problem. It sucks that he's not in good health, but that's not his dad's problem.
No.
You know? And so there is something to that.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up in your world?
So I went to medical school, and now I'm 3 years out of residency and enjoying the debt burden that goes along with going to medical school, and kind of trying to deal with that and establishing life after training. And I've got a great job and a great practice. And
cool. How much do you make?
I make about $500,000 a year.
Good. Well, you got a great big income.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
so how big a mess did you make?
I owe about $350,000.
Okay. So are you going to pay that off this year?
Well, I hope so.
Good.
Well, here's the trick. 2 years is what I'm looking at.
That'll work.
The trick is...
Yeah, with taxes and everything. That's about right.
Yeah, the taxes are kind of what killing me, and that's where my question comes in that right now, because of the tax burden, I've been paying into my group's pension plan to kind of offset some of the loss that comes with my income.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't?
No. You don't have a 100% tax bracket. Dadgum near it, but you don't have a 100% tax bracket. So you're putting $100 in there, and it's saving you taxes. I want you to do that later, but right now you need to clean up this $350. I would stop doing anything I'm doing, anything, until I get this $350 cleaned up and to completely focus on it. Obviously, you got to pay your taxes. But no, I stopped doing all investing. I stopped doing all retirement savings, everything, till we get debt cleaned up in baby step 2. And you're in an unusual baby step 2, but you have an unusual income, thank goodness.
Yeah. So even though I guess I haven't felt about it that way, because I feel like the money I'd make on the investment starting this late in my investing, if I were still able to pay it off over the course of, the year or 2 years, the benefit of the time that I've already lost in saving for retirement would outweigh.
Dude, you make $500,000 a year. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be all right. You need to clean up this mess, because here's the thing. Your peers, doctors, they're an unusual breed in that they're fabulously intelligent and notoriously stupid with money.
Right, with money, sure.
And so, you just have to not listen to anything any of them say about money. So, don't take their investment advice, for goodness sakes. Yeah, just let's get the mess cleaned up. Because here's the thing: if your house is paid for, your student loans are paid off, you got no payments anywhere, you're making $500,000 a year. Yeah, you load that pension up, you load up a bunch of other stuff, and in 20 minutes you're a multimillionaire. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. But your shortest path to stability in prosperous times and in down times, your shortest path to wealth in prosperous times and in down times is no debt. It just changes. It changes the way you feel when you go to work in the morning.
Sure. Yeah. And so I have a couple loans that are, different interest rates. One of them, I know you talk about paying off the lower balance first to get the ball rolling. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've got a ball rolling, and I've got some bigger balances that, the interest on them is quite high, and so I was thinking maybe I'd attack those.
So what is the interest rate?
5. I have one that's 5.125 and another that's 5%.
Okay, and the lower interest rates are what?
It's 3.5 and 2.4.
So the spread is 2%. If that were true on $200,000, that would be a $4,000 swing.
So it's pretty insignificant, yeah.
Compared to $350,000. The significant thing is your dedication that you use to get through 16, 18 years of school to become the high income earner that you are. If you will take that set of emotional maturity that you have, the ability to delay pleasure to win, And if you will apply that, that is your X game. That's what takes this get out of debt. That's your secret sauce, dude. And you've already captured what most people never capture in their life, and that's the ability to live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. You proved that by the track of study that you did, and that's why I never, ever say a doctor makes too much. I will never tell you you're overpaid at $500,000 because you paid a price that nobody else would pay to get to be where you are. You earned the right to get paid this money. And so I'm completely on your team. Use that same emotional X factor, and that's more important than the $4,000 savings. If you want to mix it up a little bit, dude, mix it up, but be done in 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my goal. And according to our budget, if things just hold, the way they are in our plan, then we'll be out of it. It'll feel so good.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Make sure that I want to make sure our listeners hear this. Okay. Screwing around with the interest rate here, it changed the equation. $4,000 out of $350,000. So you don't have a $4,000 problem. You got a $350,000 problem. So you hit it with $350,000 solutions. And moving the interest rate around is not. It's what is that? Turns out to be 1% of the solution. 99% of the solution is named Matthew and $500,000 income. That's your solution. Thank God you got the income to go with this mess.
I know, right? I know. I feel very blessed. Very blessed.
What field of study? I mean, what field of practice?
I'm an anesthesiologist.
Of course you are. Yeah. It's the best.
I was more nervous to talk on the radio than I was to, save a life in the operating room. So.
I bet. Well, it's one of the best fields of study because you guys get paid so well. Well, I'm so proud of you, man.
Grateful.
Now clean it up, and I want to hear from you when you're debt free. All right.
Hey, thanks for all you do. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, be good. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Yeah, you're going to stick a needle in my spine, and I want you to be undertrained and underpaid. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want an epidural from somebody that's underpaid and undertrained. I hope you make $1 million a year. Think, people, think. You people that think you're not supposed to make money. Oh, my goodness. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Well, in the twilight, as 2022 is coming to a close, Congress passed a massive spending bill, of course, because that's what you should do if you're in Congress. And but the good news is, as a part of that, they also passed what is appropriately called the Secure Act of 2022, 2.0. So what is the Secure Act 2.0? Well, it changes a bunch of things in your retirement and a couple of things in your student loans as well. And a good blog at RamseySolutions.com right now. Very good detail on this, unpacked. If you want to get in there and really look at it and plug around. I think we post those blogs on Facebook too, if I remember, James. And but George, I want to take a minute since that blog's out there, and you guys can go through it all and look at it in detail. But for those of you that don't make it over the blog, let's hit the highlights.
Yeah, there's a ton in here that really help a lot of people with their retirement. I mean, Secure Act stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. So kudos to the marketing team that got to create that little acronym there.
Yeah, well, good luck with that part. But anyway, it's good updates. It's some things that needed to happen.
Yeah, so it's starting with required minimum distributions. You'll hear these called RMDs. The age is rising to 73 instead of 72, which means you have an extra year without the government tapping you to get some of their cash.
Yeah, required minimum distributions are your 401k, your Roth, or your traditional IRAs. They require you to start taking money out at a minimum schedule so they can tax it. And it used to be 70 and a half, then it moved to 72, and with this it moves to 73. So you can leave your money alone and not touch it till 73 now. That's good.
Next one, no more required minimum distributions from Roth 401ks and Roth 403bs. So this one's interesting because you've already paid the taxes on it. So they're saying you've already paid the taxes, you can just have it.
It doesn't do anything to force you to start taking it out on RMDs. So we're going to let you just let it sit there and grow tax-free. You don't ever have to take it. Another reason to love a Roth.
That's great. Next up, smaller penalties for missed required minimum distributions. It was 50%. It's coming down to 25%.
Yeah, if you miss your RMDs. Yeah, simple.
That's good. Next, higher catch-up contributions on the way. So if you're 50 years or older, there's a lot of great ways you can step up your retirement. Put an extra $1,000 in your IRA, for example, an extra $5,000, extra $7,500 in your 401ks, and they're increasing that.
Yeah, 60 to 63, beginning in 25, in 2025, January 1, if you're age 60 to 63, you'll be able to put $10,000 annually into a workplace retirement plan, an additional $10,000. And so it allows you, if you're, quote, running behind, is it too late for me? This is for you, right?
Love it. All right, next up on the good news front, easier access to retirement funds for emergencies, or is it?
Not good news.
That's one of the downers of this plan here. We were doing so great, Dave. We were on a great roll.
We were batting 1,000 until we got to stupid land here.
And so here's what this means. Starting in 2024, you can withdraw up to $1,000 from your retirement account for personal or family emergencies. If you've been listening to the show for more than 10 seconds, you'll know that you should never tap your retirement accounts for emergencies.
Yeah, you should have an emergency fund and leave your freaking retirement account alone and let it grow and make you rich.
Absolutely. All right.
Dumb.
Here's an interesting one. Curious to get your take on this, Dave. Employers must automatically enroll you into a workplace retirement plan.
This is nanny state stuff.
Holding your hand.
This is we're going to take care of you because you're too stupid to take care of yourself idea. And so now when you join a company that has a 401k, the company is required to sign you up for the 401k automatically.
At an automatic minimum contribution rate of 3%.
And if you don't want that to happen, you have to
opt out.
Manually go in and opt out. You have to stop it from occurring. That's too much control. It's got a good intent. Want everybody to have a retirement account. That's a good thing. Yes, you need to be in your 401k, but let's say you're working the baby steps, you would need to opt out because you're not doing 401k because you're on baby step 2.
Well, and the other problem is if you are in a place to invest, you've got 3%, you don't realize it. You need to up that to 15% if you're out of debt with a fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah.
So be sure you pay attention to that stuff.
Don't, we're from the government and we're here to help. These are scary words, okay?
A 3% rate is not going to get you very far in retirement. So we've got to do better for sure. Next, this has been one of some hot debate. Employers can match your student loan payments with retirement contributions.
It's confusing.
Yes.
Because it sounds like they're paying your student loans. Now, some employers are now offering a benefit that has nothing to do with this, just where they will help you pay your student loans off one way or another, whatever it is. They'll match you, they'll do whatever. It has nothing to do with anything as far as this stuff goes. This is not that. This is you pay up to $3,000 on your student loan, and your employer puts up to $3,000 into your 401k. Which doesn't, it's just like...
Wouldn't that incentivize you to never pay off your student loans?
Like, we want you to eat apples, so we're going to chop oranges. It's just weird. You mix these things up, and people are getting confused about it already. They think it means the government's going to pay part of your student, or the employer's going to pay part of your student loan and match you on what you're putting on your student loan. They're not. They have to put it in the 401k. So it's weird.
Well, it's because
anything
loans,
that gets more money against your student loan or causes you to do that, anything that gets more money into your retirement, I'm for all of that, but this is just convoluted and weird.
Well, wouldn't you be pissed if you already paid off your student loans or didn't have any, and Joe Schmo's next to you is getting an extra $3,000 in his 401k?
That's a benefit, though. That's your employer offering a benefit. The employer's not required to offer this benefit.
I'm curious to see how many employers do this.
Yeah, I don't think they'll. Well, you never know.
You never know out there. All right. Next up, you can roll over unused 529 plan funds to a Roth IRA.
Ding, ding. This one's good.
This one I love because that's been a big point of objection. People go, well, Dave, what if my kid doesn't go to college? They don't use all the money. That money's just wasted.
Yeah, it's not.
After
15 years, your kid rolls it into their Roth IRA, no penalties.
Up to the annual contribution.
So you put $150,000 into a 529. Kid uses 75 or 80,000 of it. Whatever's left in there sits there 15 years, growing tax-free in good mutual funds. And then they roll it into a Roth IRA, into good mutual funds, and it continues to grow tax-free. No penalties.
That one I'm a huge fan of.
I love this one.
This is a fun one, too. Roth options are now available for simple IRAs and SEP IRAs. So folks that are self-employed business owners, this is cool.
I'm confused. I thought that was already there. I'm not sure they.
The Roth
I'm not
SEP
sure
and
they
Roth
didn't.
Simple.
I'm not sure they didn't already have that, but I could be wrong. So it's good though. Yeah, the simple IRA is simply a 401k for small business, and the SEP IRA is the simple incentive match plan for it's best used by a solopreneur, because if you have employees, you have to put the same amount in
You gotta
that you
match
put in
it.
for yourself. So we seldom use SEP IRAs much, but simple IRAs are great for small businesses to open up, and now they can do a Roth.
That's good news. And lastly, new emergency savings account option alongside retirement accounts. So this one's a little different than the previous one, but it's saying that the employer can set aside up to $2,500 annually for non-highly compensated employees in a separate emergency savings alongside their retirement account.
Yeah.
So it's a little sidecar here.
Yeah,
But is it
and
invested?
The problem is $2,500 is not enough for an emergency fund, and so then you've got the $1,000 you can take out of your 401k for your emergency, and you've got it all over at the employer, and so people get the idea, oh, my emergency fund's taken care of. It's not. There's not enough money. There's very few of you that 3 to 6 months of expenses represents $2,500. So this is one of those head fakes that the government's saying, hey, look, we did something, and they didn't want to do anything, because it's not sufficient to cover it. Now, if they could do up to $10,000 in there or something, that might cover some people's, the emergency
Not
fund.
enough to do any damage here.
I wouldn't use this instead of your emergency fund, and I wouldn't use the option to cash money out of your 401k for emergencies either as your emergency fund. I wouldn't do either one. I'd leave all of that alone.
Well, credit where credit's due. There's a lot of wins in here, and you guys can check out the entire article. We've got it linked in the show notes, wherever you're listening, of course, at RamseySolutions.com. But I needed a win today. I'm going to call this a win.
I'm going to call it a win. We pick on, and we can even allow President Joe Biden to call it a win. He signed it.
I'm sure he's already tweeted it.
He signed it, and so he gets a win on that. Way to go, President Biden.
You don't hear that often from Dave.
Not at often at all. Can't shoot down a balloon, but you can sign this. This is The Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I was wondering what you thought. I'd like to take out $75,000 in student loan to get a bachelor's in construction management. But there's one caveat, which is that because I am a DACA recipient, I am not qualified for a majority of scholarships that are out there or any kind of federal assistance.
Please don't do this, Andrew. Please don't do this.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Help me. John, what's a DACA?
It's a long story, but he is not a naturalized citizen, but he's lived here his whole life. And so he's a recipient. He can go to college, go to U.S. college, but doesn't qualify for a lot of the aid packages that are reserved for citizens only.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm catching
And
up.
so you want to go into construction management?
Yeah, so there's a trade school here locally that also has an online college.
Okay.
I basically do an electrician degree.
Yep.
And then that turns into a bachelor's in construction management.
Okay, so hear me say this. I want you to go learn how to be an electrician, and I want you to learn construction science. I desperately want that because you're going to be one of the most in-demand people in the next 5 to 10 to 25 to 50 years, okay?
That's a wonderful career field.
I do not want you to get $75,000 in the hole, okay?
What do you do now?
Currently, I'm a graphic designer for a sign company.
Okay. And so what made you pick construction?
So, I mean, I'm 29, and for the longest time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I went on a tour of this trade school and the courses that they have available, and it just clicked. Like, it seems like something that it's with my hands, but it requires math and technical skill, which is something that I gravitate towards.
Okay.
And obviously, because I have a son and a wife, it's got to make money too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But have you gone down and checked out the local community college in your area that probably offers the exact same program for nothing?
There's a JC in my area that gives me the certificate for electrician, but I'd have to go to further out, like a 2-hour city, to do it to make it into anything that's higher education. And
Okay, let me just tell you, 100% of the time, you do not need a degree to be in construction management. 100% chance. What you do need is the skills to be there. One way to get the skills is to go study it the way you're talking about studying it. Another way is doing it on the job and learn. That's how most people in construction learn construction management. They do construction, not graphic arts. So go get a job in the construction field, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
And work your way. Get in with an electrician that'll put you in an apprentice program.
Yeah, get your free certification there.
Get in an apprentice program, become an electrician, and then move from there and start working with the GCs in the area and take on some project manager roles on some small basic stuff and let them teach you construction management. Construction management is not rocket science, okay? It's logistics and math, what you found when you were doing that. What you ran into was a trade school that had a really good salesman.
And a shiny, shiny shop.
And it made it look like this was going to be a thing. But listen, it's project management. And just in talking to you, I think you could do it almost now.
Yeah.
You're bright, okay? You're a smart guy. Except for this part about biting on the $75,000 hook. I think you got a little thing stuck in your lip right there. It's a hook. And so, but no, dude, really, go get in the construction business. I grew up in the real estate and construction business. I love it. And I think it's something that AI can't touch. So you're not going to get replaced by a stupid computer. And ChatGPT can't spell construction management.
And it can. I promise you in 10 years, they're not going to say, whoa. I know you can wire up this entire project, but we need to see that certification. No one's going to have time.
Well, you can run through an apprentice program and become a certified electrician, but you do not need a construction management degree. I'm sitting in a building that costs $60 million to build. This portion of this building goes $60 million. The guy that built this building, working for a commercial construction company, did not have a construction management degree.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay? What he did was he swung a hammer and he dug ditches and he wired stuff and he did whatever and he learned project management. And you can take some project management courses and there's some basic things to learn about that everybody ought to know for that matter. Because everything's a freaking project. Running a wedding is a project management thing. So, I mean, whatever it is, right? So, there's nothing bad about that. But you pick that up at the community college. Don't be hunting certifications as a silver bullet to make your life successful. Go look for skills. Skills that you can put literally, in this case, and figuratively, in your tool belt.
I want to double click on that because I think that might be one of the more profound shifts that's coming our way. Okay. And that is, we have been told for 100 years to go get certified. Go have somebody else stamp you, whether it's an outside credential, whether it's an outside. And colleges have responded to this by coming up with credentials on any number of things that have never been credentialed.
Left-handed puppetry.
Everything is credentialed, right? So I'm a certified left-handed puppet, whatever. So here's the deal. In the future that we are entering into right now, people are going to ask, can you do this thing?
Yep.
So don't go get certified in how to sit with hurting people. Go figure out ways to sit with hurting people. Don't get certified in how to fill in the blank. Go learn how to do that thing because that's going to be the new currency because their certification stuff is going to get winnowed out with the internets, with the computers. I'm convinced of that, Dave.
We've already seen the beginning. Number one, the trades have never done that.
Right.
Number two, the new version of the trade called tech.
Mm-hmm.
I got tech. We got 460 tech people working here.
Yep.
The number of them that have 4-year degrees in information systems is almost zero.
Right.
But the number of them have lots of certs and have gone to classes and know how to code, gone to code school. They learned the skills.
They have to learn the skills.
They learn the skills.
Right.
And I don't care what their certification is.
Right.
What I care is, can you code?
Correct.
Can you build the platform for the code to sit on? Can you create a customer interface? How fast can you do this at a Dev 1, Dev 2, or Dev 3 level?
Right.
Are you really quick or are you just slower than Christmas? I mean,
That's
I'm the employer. I'm the guy writing the check. And so I'm telling you, you don't have to have a cert.
I have a degree in salesmanship. I
crap.
don't care. Can you sell something?
Crap.
That's what's going to matter.
The only thing that means is you got sold. Doesn't mean you ever sold anything. So, yeah, that's the essence of this, Andrew.
Chase skills.
And this is coming from John, who has a PhD in higher education.
And I used to tell, don't get a PhD in leadership. Go lead something. Go ask for increased leadership responsibility so that you can get moved up the ladder in these areas and increase your influence because you know how to do the thing, not because you can wave a certificate around and say, look, somebody else says I can do this thing.
Yeah, I had a fun discussion with Jim Collins at Entree Leadership Summit last week. We were talking maybe on stage in the interview, but certainly off stage. We talked about it too. I remember he told me the story. He was teaching entrepreneurship at Stanford, and a guy kept saying, "Yeah, but are you?"
That's a great critique. It's a great critique,
and that's what caused him to leave.
Yeah,
and go open his own for-profit research firm that led to the book Built to Last, Good to Great, Great by Choice, How the Mighty Fall, all these masterful works that are based on his masterful research that he did for profit because he decided, if I'm going to teach entrepreneurship, I probably ought to be one.
I find it no small coincidence that most of the teachers that I had that were of high influence for me, professors, were either theologians that also led small churches at the same time, or they were mental health professors that also had practices or were working in the communities doing the thing because they got to tie the practice into that knowledge, and then you get a much better the passion jumps into the students, right?
Who was it taught me to go into debt? My finance professor, who was broke. He was broke. What's wrong with a broke finance professor? That's like a shop teacher with missing fingers. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You ain't one.
Right.
You ain't one until you is one, right? Oh, my gosh. This is how this works. So, yeah.
Chase skills.
I believe in education. Being dumb is not a plan. Okay?
I do, too. I believe in going to college.
I believe in gathering up knowledge. But the silver bullet is your gathering of knowledge and the application of it in the marketplace, not the piece of paper that said you did it. If all you do is collect degrees, you're a thermometer. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Well, it's tax day, the day that no one celebrates. I take that back. Actually, there are people that celebrate this day. It would be the CPAs and the enrolled agents that do tax preparation because as of tonight, they are through, and they have just gone through a really stressful, tiring period. Those of you that are endorsed local providers out there in the tax prep business, thank you for what you do, for taking on the task of us not having to deal with all the crap called filling out our taxes. Not only is it unbelievably complicated, not only do most people screw it up, but on top of that, it just pisses me off every time I have to sign off on what we send Washington. So I was going over our tax return with my wife a few weeks back. We filed hers a while back and paid it today, of course, whatever was the remaining that we owed today. And she only has 2 questions when she's looking at our tax return. Now, our tax return's as thick as a freaking phone book. It's ridiculous. She has 2 questions. What do we make? And how much did they take? That's all she wants to know. And both of those are possible causes for problems. What do we make? How much did they take? And it's just devastating. It's amazing. And so, this is National Whining Day for those of us, the 51% of us that actually do pay taxes. Federal income taxes are not paid by approximately half the population, about 49% in a given year, pay 0 federal income tax. But the other half need to pay their fair share. I never understood that. If you pay nothing, how do you gripe about someone else paying their fair share? I don't get that. It's not a conservative or a liberal thing. It's just doesn't make sense to me. If you paid the same percentage, I make more than you maybe, or maybe you make more than me. If you pay the same percentage I pay, it would be different, but you don't. I pay the highest possible freaking percentage on there because I make a lot of money. And so I send a lot of money, which I really don't mind that part of it. But I do mind when those of you that pay 0 or pay less of a percentage of your income than I do say, I'm not paying my fair share. The wealthy should pay more. My God, I don't know how much more we can pay. Really. And there's not that many of us. If you add us all up together, it doesn't equal anything. So maybe everybody ought to pay something. Would that be fair? If you're driving on the roads and the Army is protecting you and the Navy is protecting you, and you're partaking of federal services like I do, maybe you ought to pay something. $10. What if everybody paid $10? Would that be fair? But 50%, 51% of Americans pay all the taxes, but we don't pay our fair share. Thomas Sowell said it well. He said, I've never understood why it is greed to want to keep the money that you've earned, but it is not greed to want to take someone else's money. Ever notice people screaming, liberal screamers, you need to pay more! You're too greedy. Wait a minute, you're wanting my money. Who's greedy? Who's greedy here? I do not understand that. I don't grasp it at all. Yeah, I mean, it just seems right to everybody ought to chip in something. And I get that taxes are regressive, meaning that even after I pay the ridiculous sum that I pay, which is nightmarishly large. It's more money than I ever thought I would make in my life was my tax bill this year. So, yes, I'm whining. But even after I do all that, I've still got a great life. And, you know, if you make $28,000, $23,000 and you're a single mom with 2 kids, and, you know, even after not paying any taxes, you still, you know, it's still hard to buy food. It's still hard to buy lights. And so I don't want to punish you. I get the idea of a regressive tax system. You don't want a tax system because you cut into someone's disposable income is what all I want to cut into. I don't want to cut into their eating money or something like that. And so I'm really technically okay with some people not paying anything because they're broke. I get it. I've been broke. I know how it feels. I made $6,000 one year. I didn't have a tax bill that year. I had other problems, but I didn't have a tax bill that year. And so I get it. I know how it feels. I was back in my 20s when I went broke. So I was happy to not have a tax bill. It helps me get back on my feet and, you know, move on out of there. But I didn't gripe about somebody else not paying enough taxes during those years either. Because I kind of figured I was going to be paying taxes again soon. And I did. So I really do kind of think some of you ought to wake up and go, number one, I'm not going to whine about what other people pay because that's none of your business really. And it is greedy to want other people's money. I mean, taxes are a form of governmental theft if you think about it. You don't have a choice. They put a gun to your head and take your money. I mean, what are you going to do? Not go to jail? I mean, these are your options, right? So it is. And considering I don't support hardly anything on principle that money goes to, I don't mind the military. I don't mind some of the roads and a few other things, but most of the social programs and stuff, that it's just they're have been proven to not work. So I don't like supporting stuff that's proven to not work. If it was a ministry and it was ineffective like that, I wouldn't donate to it. I donate to ministries that are effective and that manage the money that they have well, and they do a great service in the community. If the government was like efficiently run or something, I'm sorry, I was just about fell asleep there in my dream. But if it was like efficiently run or something, I guess we wouldn't whine about it so much. But I do resent buying $25,000 toilet seats. I resent that. I resent buying $10,000 hammers, and I resent money going to stuff I don't agree with, that are on principle, where the government has taken social stands on things. I resent that. I do. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to the show. It's okay. This is a Dave Ramsey show. So it's all about what Dave Ramsey thinks. That's why we call it the Dave Ramsey show, if you didn't know. It's not about what you think. It's about what I think. And you call in and you ask me what I think. And that's why people listen to the show. Like 15 million of them. So it's okay. If this makes you mad and like you're liberal crazy or something, you want to turn the dial, just turn the dial. It's okay. It'll be all right. You'll be all right. You don't have to get mad. What is it? Don't go away. Don't go away mad. Just go away. Yeah, it's fine. This is what we do here. And I have to spend at least one segment of the show a year whining about my tax bill. It's just part of my life, and now I've done it. I got it out, and we'll take your calls now in the next segment. Y'all ready? 888-825-5225. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Today's question comes from Jeff in Florida. I got a new job recently, and I have a boss from hell. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get fired soon. The problem is I enjoy the work, and I get paid well. I tried looking for other jobs similar to this, but there's none in my area. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells at work, like I know it's a matter of time before I get fired. I paused baby step 2 to start saving in case I get fired. I now have $2,200 saved up. I figure we can live on one income if we sell our cars and take our kid out of daycare. Should I start 1, looking for a new job, 2,
Yes.
downgrade everything except childcare to prepare for the worst case scenario? If I downgrade and get a job, I'll have that extra income to pay off debt, which is a substantial amount. So yeah, I should be looking for a job right away and taking maybe 1 or 2 extra jobs while looking. If you really feel like the shoe is about to drop and you could get fired at any moment, you just want to be stacking cash, which means making some extra cash right now. If it were this bad, the way you're describing it, I would be working extra, saving extra, pausing some things, sure. But let's move quickly because you know what the work is. I'm not going to accept the reality just automatically that I've tried looking for jobs similar to this, but there's none in my area.
You were looking for one when you found that one.
Yeah, I just never want to accept that.
That's a bull crap, okay? You know, there's no houses for rent in this area. Of course there's houses for rent in your area. You just don't like them, you know. So, yeah, you need to look for another position immediately. And, I'm going to throw in one other thing. I cannot tell this from this email, but Jeff, I want you to ask yourself, are you whining? Is your boss really the boss from hell, or are you the lame employee from hell? You just got the job. You walk in the door, and they ask you to do some work, and you don't like that. Are you whining? It might not be true.
Yeah.
But I would want to ask myself that question.
Well, you actually make
Why
another
is
point.
it that you're so freaking useless that even the boss from hell is going to fire you quickly?
Well, let me throw another scenario that could be out there too. This could be a boss who maybe not the boss from hell, but it's got a lot of crap going on in their own life, personal life. Maybe they're stressed out of their mind. And this boss isn't talking to you with the sweetest, kindest of demeanors and voice. And maybe he's a little grumpy. And maybe you're not going to get fired at all. Maybe they got some rough stuff going on in their life, and you think because of the way they're treating you, you're going to get fired.
Yeah, like, are you whining? That's what I'm asking.
That's right. But what's the cause of them thinking that the boss is from hell? Maybe they're just having a bad day or a couple bad days. And you're not going to get fired.
Everybody that disagrees with you is not a narcissist.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know? Everybody that you don't like the way they said something is not a toxic work environment.
Mm-hmm.
And people telling you to do your job is not a toxic work environment. That's like you buckle up, buttercup, you know? So I don't know if that's what's going on or not.
Yeah, it could be.
Sometimes that stuff comes up. It doesn't come up here. We don't run into it much because you don't even make it through the interview process if you're going to be that wimpy here, because we get crap done and we don't pull any punches. I could be the boss from hell because I believe you ought to work and stuff because you got to outwork me, and I'm 63 years old and been doing this 40 years. So keep up, kiddo, buckle in. So this is what we're doing. I mean, if you're not going to do that, you're not going to like me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you would. Jeff, I don't know that that's you. But if you're ever facing this, I'm increasingly hearing, and Ken is too, in the career space, that every environment that feels momentarily unpleasant, like I'm going to get a callus, is a toxic work environment.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's just the wussification of America.
That's right.
You're just being a wuss, Suck it up and dig, get the shovel, dig the hole, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's really what's going on, I don't know if that's what's going on. So, Jeff, ask yourself, are you whining? Are you being a wuss? Is it really that bad? Are you exaggerating and melodramaticing this? I mean, you just took the job. How could you mess up the interview that bad?
Yeah, well, here's another clue in this. I enjoy the work, he says, and I get paid well. People don't enjoy doing stuff they suck at. So he's either delusional, and I don't think he is, or I think this is an emotional situation. He doesn't like the way he's being talked to and treated, and I get that, whether he's whining or not. But the issue is, don't think that the boss is going to fire you just because they're not talking to you with roses and, and treats and, that's the issue. Yeah. People quit too soon in these days because they want to be coddled.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't get coddled at the workplace.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not, I do not expect anyone to stay in a real toxic work environment. But asking someone to work and correcting them if they don't do the work properly is not a toxic work environment. That's called training.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think back to my favorite coach all time, Benny Polk, high school basketball. If you would have watched those practices from outside the gym doors and just watched his demeanor, you would have thought he was verbally abusing us. He wasn't. He was, well, in today's world he was, but he was just coaching us. And I think there's a difference between verbal abuse, bullying, and all the stuff we hear about, and then just good old-fashioned, tough-nosed leadership sometimes. It's not all roses and pom-poms.
Well, I mean, Jeff, I am not accusing you of that. I am suggesting, though, that just reading through the email and the way this is put together, that, maybe you need to analyze is how much of this is you. If it's not you and it's truly just a guy that's being a twerp and he's a jerk and he's yelling and screaming or something, I wouldn't ask you to work there. We don't yell and scream at Ramsey. We don't cuss at our team. We don't do that. We don't abuse. We're not the bosses from hell. But I have been accused of being that just because I told somebody to get up off their butt and get their stuff done. Okay? And if you don't like that, you don't need to work around here because we get stuff done. We leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home pretty regular. And when you kill something, usually there's blood. So get ready. There's crap going on here. All right? So this is what's going on. And so you got to decide if that's, that's a part of the equation here. Like, I've been fired from jobs too. And, one time I got fired is 100% my fault. It took me a little while to realize that. When I went broke, it was 100% my fault. You know who got me broke? The idiot in my mirror. And one of the best things I did in my life is discover that he was the problem. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Matt is in San Bernardino, California. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hi, guys. How you guys doing today?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
Perfect. I just want to make this quick. I have a quick question for you. So it's about making a mistake on skipping the baby step. So I had about $20,000 in savings by the age of 23. I'm now 24. I started a business and I lost it all. But then I got in touch with Dave Ramsey and I realized I had debt that I should have paid off before I started a business. So I have $8,000 left to pay off on my car loan out of $22,000. I have approximately $4,000 in my stocks that could help me get out of debt in 3 months instead of 6 months. So I thought I could skip baby step 2 because the interest was so low, but I just feel like a slave now.
Okay. Well, the paradox is that if you the very nature of skipping a baby step means you didn't take the baby step.
Right.
Yeah.
Well played, Dave. Well played. Dave was in honors classes, Matt.
I had to learn that the hard way.
We've all been there, man.
So what we're really saying is, are you really now ready to follow this system, or are you going to continue to do Matt's system?
No, I'm completely ready to.
Okay, then our system is you would liquidate anything that is not retirement, anything you can sell that you don't have to have, that's not a retirement account, and down to $1,000 in savings. That's baby step 1, and everything else goes on your debt, which is your car, right?
Right.
So your stocks are worth $4,000. What else do you have you can liquidate?
I could sell my motorcycle.
Okay, what's it worth?
Probably about $2,000.
Okay. Says something on my screen about crypto. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so all the $4,000 is in my crypto and individual stocks.
Okay, so that's the total portfolio. Okay. All right. So you liquidate that, and you make what a year?
$50,000.
What'd you say the motorcycle was worth?
About $2,000.
Okay. And it was $8,000 on the car, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
I could pay it all off in 6 months, but I'm so eager to be out of debt. It's like, I need to do it in 3 months. I need to get it done.
Do it in 2. Sell everything and then start driving Uber after work. Get done, man. Get done.
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah. Sell the motorcycle,
Yeah.
sell all the stuff. Because what you're doing is you're resetting your brain into a different groove. And the groove is I'm going to follow this to a T, and I'm going to follow it with intensity. And that sets your life pattern up, your habit patterns up to carry forward another decade. If you do that, the more extreme you get, the more you deepen that groove, is what we're saying. That's what the gazelle intensity thing is. That's really the essence of it.
The one challenge I have when folks are able just to sell everything their way to it is you don't have to do behavior change. You can
he
sell
still
some
does,
stuff,
though.
but he's going to have to.
Because he's got 4,000 in crypto and stocks. He's got 2,000 in motorcycles. He's got 8,000 on the car. So he's still 2,000 in the hole.
Right.
So and you got to keep 1,000 back. So 3,000 in the hole. And so let's just get in attack mode right here. And like John said, work like a crazy man. Take all the extra hours you can get doing something. And before the end of the summer, you should be 100% debt free, and you will have adjusted your mind to fit this the rest of the time.
And you will never do it again.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. And, it's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes.
Yeah.
And that's how I answer questions here. Knowing what I know, having coached millions of people on becoming wealthy, what is the shortest possible right path to do it? And it is deep levels of sacrifice. And because that permanently changes who you are. John, the negative thing about me and Sharon going broke in our 20s and losing $3 million worth of real estate that I had borrowed too much on and losing everything. And the year Rachel's born, we have to file bankruptcy because we're just completely devastated financially, emotionally, spiritually, and everything. The beauty of that extreme experience is the change that resulted from it was permanent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a deep, deep, deep groove, and I've never gotten out of that groove again.
Yeah.
There was a deep ditch. I couldn't get out of in your brain. The way, it's the neuroplasticity, I can't say it, research indicates now that that's actually a physical thing in your brain.
So let me ask you a hard question. You make this switch, and it happens. And let's fast forward a decade, and let's say you stuck to this in your home, and then here at work, there had to have been seasons where in a traditional business setting that just goes to the bank for some, man, that would have been nice. And you looked at it and said, I could take this shortcut here. We can go take a big business loan out because I just need to be able to buy these new books or be able to get this new building. And you were quick enough to do the math on the back of a napkin and say, or it's going to be 7 years or 6 years. We're doing this the right way. That's a different level of behavior change that says, come what may, I'm willing to fill in the blank because this is the right thing to do. What kept you going in those seasons? Because that's hard.
Yeah. I was playing golf the other day with a guy who's a raging alcoholic, and he's been dry for 14 years, and some change. And, we were out there, and we were talking about all kinds of trash on the golf course and everything else. And I said, so, that one right there will drive you to drink. And I was making a joke with him because we're good enough friends that he can handle that. And he's like, no. And he turned on me, back got up, right? The hair stood up on the back of his neck. And he's like, there's nothing going to drive me to drink.
Oh, wow.
And, there's that. It's that kind of a thing, right?
Yep.
And that's the way I am about debt, and it's just, no. There's nothing I want bad enough. There's nothing you can threaten me with. You can't make me afraid enough to believe that this is the best way out.
Gotcha. Or the only way out.
Ever again.
Wow.
And so, we had this building under option that we could buy for $5 million, and we didn't have $5 million. And while I had it, as a 5-year lease with an option, while I had it under option, the value went from $5 million to $12 million. So not closing on this is walking away from a $7 million gain. Right? Which is blowing my mind.
Right.
I'm getting nickels out of the corner of the couch trying to get the money together to close on this thing. We closed on it with 1 month to go. But Sharon and I talked about it several times. If God wants us to have this building, we'll find the money. He'll show us how to find the money. If he didn't want us to have this building, we won't have the money, and we're not closing on it, no matter what it looks like, no matter what the gain is. Never. You ain't got anything I want bad enough. And that was about the biggest temptation I can remember because the gain was so large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, never again. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm 25 years old, and I have a lot of debt, and I'm basically trying to figure out what's the best way to tackle that and overcome it. From credit cards, cars, and I'm in a situation where I was thinking about purchasing a house, but I don't think that is the best financial decision. So I just want to see if you guys can help me out with that.
We agree. Let's get you out of debt first. So walk Rachel through your debt. Go smallest to largest for us.
Okay. Yeah. So going small to largest. So I have 6 credit cards, totaling to about $65,000 in total credit card debt. With the smallest minimum monthly payment, roughly about $51 a month. Then the next credit card is about $123 a month. The next 3 are all about $10,000 a piece, and they're about $200
that you owe on them. The last 3.
Yes. The last 3. So I owe $5,000 on the first one.
Okay.
I owe $7,000 on the second one. The next 3 after that, I owe $10,000 a piece.
Okay.
So a total of $30,000. And then the last one, I actually owe $25,000 on.
Okay, what were these for, Antonio? What were you racking up this debt for?
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
What were these for, Antonio? What were you racking up this debt for?
So basically, so my job profession, I'm actually a finance manager, ironically, at an RV dealership. So, when COVID happened, I was making crazy good money. So, even sometimes upwards of $30,000 a month. So I had just got into the, building credit, and I just seen it as, okay, if I don't mind spending $10,000 because I could just pay that back. And I did that for a couple months, and then, the times have changed, pay changed a little bit, pay's still good, but it just got to the point where the interest was just so high to the point where anything over the minimum payment was just ridiculous. I mean, the minimum payment right now is anywhere from,
But you're spending money on lifestyle is what these credit cards are.
Initially, and they have been maxed out for about 3 years. I've just paid the bare minimum, and I'll be quite frank, I'll pay the bare minimum, and that little bit I pay, I might spend it again, not because I need it, but it's just like, I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel to get these things paid off.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's the credit cards. How much do you owe on your car?
I have three cars. I owe $35,000 on my truck. I owe $31,000 on my EV, my Mustang Mach-E, and I owe $16,000 on my girlfriend's SUV.
Okay, hold on.
Wow, Antonio,
you financed a car for your girlfriend?
Yeah, I purchased one for her yesterday. Yeah, I did.
Wow, I feel like you watched The Wolf of Wall Street and just decided to try to do your own version here. This is crazy.
So that's sort of, believe it or not, kind of what what my life was and kind of what I aimed to be.
That's why I chose it. That's why I chose the metaphor.
Okay, what else, Antonio? What other debt do you have?
So I also have a boat, but I've paid that pretty low, so I only owe about $8,000 on the boat. Okay. And I do have an RV, a fifth wheel, that I owe about $26,000 on.
Of course, that makes total sense because you got such a good deal on that. How much money are you making right now? What's your bring home every month?
So I gross anywhere from $15,000 to $17,000 a month. My bring home is anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000, give or take.
I mean, you are really with all these payments.
How are you making it, Antonio?
It's unfortunate. It's just one of those things that I thought, okay, I'm making money. I can spend more money. I mean, and then also, I do have 4 children, and I do pay rent, which is roughly about $2,350. Then you got utilities, water, camera.
You didn't answer her question. We're trying to help you. And this is the part where we're now going to try to help you dig out. And you can do this. But how are you making it month to month? Do you have any left over at all?
Oh, no. Actually,
and you're going into credit card debt still?
Yeah. So honestly, I have anywhere from $500 to $1,000 left over at the end of every month. And that's if I'm lucky.
Yeah. All right. So can we just do real quick? I want to know if we have any equity in any of these vehicles.
Yeah. What the $35,000 truck?
Do you have any equity?
No, that's the main one that I'm flipped upside down on. It's
if you sold it today, what would you sell it for? What could you sell it for?
Maybe 21 or 22,000.
Okay. Are you just guessing, or did you Kelly Blue Book this?
No, I've Kelly Blue booked it.
Okay. What about the Mustang?
The Mustang, I probably am upside down about $1,000 or $2,000 on it. I could probably sell it for $29,000.
Okay, and then girlfriend's car. Are you the only one on the loan, or did you co-sign for her, or what was the situation there?
No, I'm the only one on every loan I mentioned.
Okay, and what could you sell her car for?
That one I probably could sell. I could probably make it $3,000 on that one. I could possibly sell that one for about 18 or 19 grand.
All right, perfect. Okay, so the cars are the easy. Oh yeah, the boat.
What do you owe on the boat?
He owes 8. What could you sell for?
Sorry, what's it worth? I'm so confused right now.
So the boat is worth about $15,000.
All right, sell that today.
Perfect.
Sell the boat today.
Yeah, sell the boat today.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So because then you'll have $7,000. Okay, Anthony. Here's gonna be your issue, Anthony. Your ego's about to really be hit hard. This is all. Yeah. This is ego. 3 cars, boat, RV, credit card debt, living like you're just the fill in the blank. And you're not. Yeah. So there's a reality here, Anthony, that the humility pill that you're going to have to swallow to truly change this around is going to be really big. And that's the part about personal finance that's so difficult, is the math stuff. We can walk through that. But there is a character part of you, Anthony, that's going to deeply, deeply have to change. You caring about what people think has been very high in your life. And this is about to do the complete opposite. You are going to be... You're not going to be the man anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's an ego level, and I'm saying that kindly because we all have a level of an ego. But man, it's going to be tough.
So here's the deal: is the RV? Can you sell more, make more on that than the 26 you owe?
The RV, I can break even.
Okay, listen. You got to sell the RV.
All this
you
stuff.
Sell the boat. You sell the girlfriend's car too
today.
Because I don't care how lovely she is. She gets her own car. It's not your problem.
Yeah, and Antonio, take your payment for the RV, the boat, her car, and the Mustang. All those payments, that's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Now that you can sell the truck, start paying off these credit cards, smallest to largest. But man, it's going to be it's about to be a 180 in your life, Antonio. But it has to be in order for something to change. And I feel the stress on you. So man, you got to make some big changes.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.